about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That was great sounds of Watts with Outside on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City Made, Mr. EZ BlueZ. This is a special edition of the show of Preston EZ BlueZ. Dustin Scafani, EZ BlueZ, my brother, tell me about your people today. This time is for all of you. Go ahead.
Wow, homie pulled out the government name, man. That's crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, it is in those moments where you can feel completely helpless and alone, where a simple note and melody can take you to that next level, where there is an understanding that, hey, maybe someone else understands what I'm going through. Understanding that big part of the song and your place in it is so super important. And there are four individuals, we're waiting on one, but there are four individuals that have come together to make music and memories of those moments, casting them on forward. And the whole time, while having a good time and actually enjoying each other's company. So for that and that alone, I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. If you're driving, please keep your hands at 10 and 2, because we don't need any accidents. But mentally, put your hands together for the fantastic, the amazing Johnny Oz and Matatatui from Shane Penguin.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Howdy.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Easy, you got to big up yourself.
Oh, and me. I don't.
You sing in the band.
I would also like to introduce our singer from Shane Penguin, EZ BlueZ.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Introducing your people in your own house. What's happening, man?
Definitely, man. Definitely. Big yourself up, guys. You guys are award winners now.
Yes.
This is the first time I'm interviewing award winners right here with Shane Penguin on the show. How do you guys feel about that? Was it surreal at that moment?
That moment was surreal AF.
Okay.
I didn't think it was going to happen because like we really had gone all out the previous year. Where like we spent money on ads.
You spent money on ads.
Man. Here we were just like, all right, we're gonna do our best. We're gonna spread word of mouth. We're not gonna spend money. And then we got there, and they're like, once the guy announced, like, oh, I love this band's name before he said it, like, Easy looked directly at me. He's like, is that us? And it was us. And that was funny because in that moment, we became an award-winning punk band, which is one of the dumbest titles you can have. Like, there was nothing punk. Like, the industry think that you're the best in this genre that you don't really belong to. But hey, it's cool. I mean, look, even like a weird award has like some like, what's the word? Like is not camp, but it's like there's like a ironic value in like, all right, well, we can pin this on our chest or whatever. Which all that is to say, not to put any disrespect or any lack of respect on the folks that awarded us, because that's pretty cool. It was incredible to like, hear our name, hear them play the Hive, and then have to run up there. So like, I don't know if it didn't feel that different than I'm sure it feels for people who get called down on like The Price is Right. Where it's like, well, it could have been me. I didn't think it was going to be me, but it's happening, and now we got to get on stage.
Now, was time cut short with the acceptance speech like they usually do with award shows? Was it brief? Did someone do like this in front of you guys, or you guys just gave you the ball and kept it rolling with the speech?
So what happened, I think, understanding the speech, and Easy, let me know if this is not how you recall. This might be a rock thing. But we went up, and Easy, he took the mic and was talking about how great this was and how important it is and how much we love it. And half out of like, I don't know what we're doing on here. Like, we got to get off the stage, and half like wanting to goof on it. I don't know if y'all have seen, if you ever saw ODB,
Yes.
like talk about
at the Grammys,
the children, etc.
Yeah.
I just grabbed the mic from Easy and it was like, Shane Penguin was for the children, Shane Penguin was for everyone. We love you all, and then we got off of there. So effectively, I guess I was like our technical ODB / like the music playing up. Like, we love you. We're out of here.
The thing is technically we got cut short in time, but given more time because the guy actually asked about the mythos behind the name. And I looked at Kenny. I was like, do I tell him the anime version or do I tell him, the Oliver Stone version? And Kenny goes, I'd give him something in between. So I give him the thing for the name. And then John just walks right up, grabs the mic. He goes, and like literally does like one of these, like past his chest with 2 fingers too. He's like, for the children. And I was like, this is the best moment ever. And I was just like, it's time to leave. It's time to leave. I was like, there's nothing more that can be said for this. And then people gave us things.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. People gave us party favors, I think they call it in the industry.
Okay. All right. Now, this was the New England Music Awards. It was in Massachusetts?
Yes. It was actually right in the same parking lot as Gillette Stadium.
Oh, okay. John, you're about to say something. I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just going to say across the parking lot from Gillette Stadium.
Oh, I love it how great minds think alike. Now, John, you said punk isn't really the genre style of Shane Penguin. This is a question for all 3 of you. What type of music is Shane Penguin to you?
Dude, that's a really annoying question, man. and
we hate it.
I love the honesty. I love the honesty.
We're friends. I like being able to tell you that that's an annoying question, but I am going to answer you honestly. I'm just going to answer you annoyingly as well.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
We all have like genres that we come from, just like whatever. It's kind of like our personal cultures, right? Like Kenny very much grew up deep in the heart of pop punk. Like absolutely, that dude lives on Trey Cool and Travis Barker drum parts, and it's incredible. It runs through our blood, musically speaking, right?
Right.
But like, he doesn't listen to just that. He listens to a bunch of stuff. We all listen to a bunch of stuff, and I think like one of the goals for us, and I guess for me, like personally as a musician, is like to steal from enough people that no one knows you're stealing. Like, not that we're like, I'm just gonna do this one style of thing. Like, if people say, oh, your band sounds just like this band, keep hacking at that sculpture, because like you should sound like a mixture of like 5 things, and it should be weird to you when people tell you what you sound like. Like, I think there's like multiple people that have come to us and said like, you guys sound like Modest Mouse.
I know. Wow, that's
which is cool. That's great.
That's great, but I would never have that comparison. Wow. Okay.
Pedro the Lion, which is another like kind of weaker band, like Pedro the Lion, I really like, but I don't think anybody playing in Pedro the Lion like listens to a lot of pop punk, for instance, and so for a while we spent a little bit of time kind of like, well, what are we? Are we a punk band? Are we like an art rock band? What's going on? And then it turned into kind of like, well, what if we want to be everything? Right? And we can't be everything. We can only be who we are. We're the same 4 dudes that mostly play the instruments that we play. But the idea of pushing against the walls of what you do, I think is where like really meaningful musical conversations happen. And I think like we see this, I think, in music, in recorded history of like bands that have like an incredible transformative work. It's usually not going to be like their first record. Oftentimes it's going to be the idea of like these guys came together, they pushed on every button and wall on the thing, and then they open up a secret passage. That's what music sounds like after this band existed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have like delusions that we're going to be, the friggin' Beatles or whatever.
Right.
I do like the idea of like people around New Haven or, who hear us anywhere being like, damn, that's a cool way to write a song. Or, you know what? That's cool. I'm going to start a band. We just want 100,000th of what Velvet Underground got.
Matt, Easy, can you guys agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds
Matt, let's get to know you. You are one of the newest member of Shane Penguin. I'm gonna ask the generic question. How did you find this group of great gentlemen?
let's see. So basically, I've been playing guitar for quite a while now, probably since I was like 15 or so. Never really been in a band or anything, but I most of the time kind of kept up with it. And then at some point, it kind of got around to the point like, I've always kind of thought that I'd like to actually play shows, play in a band and everything. And finally kind of got up the nerve, like, what, screw it, I'm just gonna go for it. So I just did probably what most people do nowadays, jumped on Facebook and was like, all right, you find groups of, musicians and stuff or looking for members or whatever. And I came across a post from Dufton saying, hey, we're looking for a guitarist. Pretty much sounded right up my alley, like kind of the influences along the lines like punk, indie, rock, things like that. I was like, all right, so contacted him. And from there, he sent me some of their songs and everything. So I started practicing them and everything. We met up. Had our first practice with me there, and I feel like we hit it off pretty well.
Nice.
And just kept going from there.
So the chemistry started that day one.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. Like,
I mean, we'd almost had a song day one. Didn't
really?
Take the L start day one?
Was that?
I think it was day one.
Yeah, that's either first or second practice, I think.
Yeah, because Take the L came through, and I remember because initially it was the whistle part, because I always had to make sure I drank a ton of water beforehand, because if not, my mouth was too dry to whistle. I'd like,
oh yeah, I forgot that it started out as a whistle before the harmonica.
Before the harmonica came a whistle. And that's the other thing that what John's talking about is, having the freedom to be goofy and insane. I think for me, one of the art forms that influences me the most is the drag community, because they get to be so absurd and so alive and so incredible that, us who are, have all of these things ticked on our favor, if we can't be a little bit eccentric and push those boundaries, what are we doing with our privilege? So I like to stand up. That's one of the reasons why I'm so glad we had Pax Headroom in the Hive video and the Hive the music video with the words. What is that called? Lyric video.
Capture video.
Yes, lyric video.
Yeah, I will say, so we had a couple folks like jam with us before, Matt, and there were two things that immediately popped out. One was like, oh, this dude like did the work. Like, there's a lot of people when they are auditioning for a band where they're just like, here's my genius, you're welcome, right? Like there's just like a lot of like that, and I don't know. I kind of feel like 1 out of every 20 drummers right now, it was just filmed like a tryout video for Primus. And it's funny because like Primus to me is like, I love that band. I played bass and I heard them at 13, so they messed my brain up. But like, Primus seems like a band for real Guitar Center type musicians. Just like, what are you doing, man? You're not this is not music, this is athletics. And
Mm-hmm.
that Les Claypool, the bassist slash leader of Primus, was just like, don't just play along with one of our songs. We need to know how you play with other people. And that's the thing, is Matt not only like figured out what was on the recordings for those, but on Take Me Out, he was like listening to us and trying to figure out what would work out, which is not a given that somebody is going to be good at that. Like, I try not to be too like friggin' proud parent at shows about like, did you know that he's not played in a band before? But like, it is professional. It's very cool. And I think like I think it just goes to show like the importance of playing music and participating in music, not even necessarily being in a band, but even just like the passive engagement with the music that you listen to, of like tapping along beat on a table or singing along with it at your desk or whatever. It's just like, it all brings you closer to this magical process of collaborative creation. And we're just thrilled that Matt was here and joined it.
Besides Matt being part of this awesome band, what has changed with Insane Penguin throughout its growth, and what will never be the same?
What was the second part of that?
What will never be the same?
I will say one thing that has changed for us over this period of time, and I think is changing, is that our approach as a band to vocals has changed a lot. Like, because, you know, Easy is very much like from sort of the poet school of frontmanery, and he's absolutely in people's face, like, but it's like words are from his heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when we started out, it was just like, okay, he is the center of this. That's it. That's what we're building a stage for. But over the months and years, like, we've kind of all sort of built into that as well, where, you know, the drummer and I are doing octave harmonies pretty regularly. And, you know, Easy and I will occasionally have like counterpoint vocals, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, getting at that kind of way of getting more out of there only being four of us on stage is really exciting. And that's something I want to do more with too, like whether it's samples or backing beats or whatever, like, or looping. There's a bunch of stuff that we could do, and we're pretty economical right now. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, should we tell him?
Go ahead. Let's know. What's going on?
We'll tell him. I actually am starting to play a little bit guitar, back playing guitar as well, expanding the sound that way, you know, which opens us up for different aspects. And, you know, a thicker sound gives Matt a little bit more freedom to explore in, you know, the scale in which he wants to go through. If the foundation is already lived there, that sounds dope. So yeah, that's one of those things that we started to do, and you know, and we're taking a look at now. Like, we just moved into a new practice space, so we're saying, as we reinvent the room, let's reinvent ourselves. And you know, what does it look like? John asked, you know, the question: what's going to make this room the most comfortable for you to be out of your element? Like, if I was to say, hey, what would make you comfortable jumping on bass? You know, and different aspects. So thinking in those directions, you know, like, I can't wait for us to do like it'd be a Green Day homage. You know, having Kenny jump up from behind the microphone, behind the kit, and sing a song would be so perfect and so pop punk for Kenny. I can't wait to give him that moment. You know.
I'm happy you mentioned that. So we will get a song. Easy's still going to be in the band, obviously, without EZ BlueZ vocals.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Of course,
that's a pretty cool perspective. I like that. That's awesome.
Of course. You want to know something? And look, we've been talking to other musicians in different aspects there. But if you're a musician and you know us, you want to hit us up into something like that, go to the Instagram, hit up the Shane Penguin Instagram, and I would have no problem with other musicians coming in, and I would either just sing backup or just play guitar, or piano, or maybe something else. Almost slipped there. Whoo, that was close.
That was close on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with the great Shane Penguin on Preston EZ BlueZ, WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. EZ BlueZ, go right ahead.
So yeah, any other musicians that just want to make music, hit us up. Come through. I know we've been talking with with Caitlin, the amazing producer and singer. Her songs are incredible. So love to have her come through, and hopefully Ethan will be coming through, and we'll have some fun. It's all about having fun. Like I tell people all the time, it's called playing music for a reason. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. Like, look, there's kind of like sort of two purposes here, and one is like pure creative thing, which is like, I think one of our favorite things to do in practice is say, I've got a bad idea, because bad ideas are often like there's treasure hiding behind them, like maybe just in the execution or how we're thinking about it. And the other thing is the stuff that hides behind bad ideas is the stuff that's most easily overlooked. And so, there's like these real discoveries that you get by pushing yourself out of your comfort zone.
Right.
We've had fun stuff on our records happen because we had a bad idea. It's just like, oh, I own a theremin. Do we want to put a theremin solo on this song? Yeah, we do. It sounds cool, right? This other half of this is like the importance of music, not just like in the physical place-based New Haven Central CT sense, but music as a community. The idea of like meeting folks where they're at by communicating with them, like non-verbally, just finding our level on like a C12 bar blues or whatever. Just figuring that out is like a great way to sort of kind of be in communion with folks. Like, I realize that's like a weirdly religious way to put it, but it's true. Like, you do get to connect with people on a deeper level. And there's a ton of musicians in the area that we admire and we really love being played. And the opportunity of like co-creating with them, not in a formal sense of like, we're not trying to do a series of 7 inches or whatever.
Yeah, understand.
The sense of like, hey, what does Shane Penguin exist as in relation to Ethan James or whoever else? It's fun self-discovery for us, discovery for them, and it brings us out of our comfort zone even when we're on our home instruments playing our own songs, which is cool. You don't always get that.
What was the most memorable fan experience you guys have witnessed, each one of you, during performing?
During performing,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna let
that you can say on air. That you can say on air.
No, nothing like that, sir. Sir, we're a family band, sir.
Of course you are.
So go ahead. You want me to go first? I'll go first.
You can go first, Easy. You can go first.
All right. I think it was when we were playing Stella Blues. There was always this one fan who would start talking over us and telling us how great we are.
That's wonderful.
But also being more, the show started to be about her instead of being about us. Ooh. So it really started to be like a thing. She's like, "Oh, I love Journey." I'm like, "I'm sure you do. Let's keep moving. Well, we're going on a journey. I love Journey. We're not listening to that." See, even Kenny wanted to fall over for that one. It's
Oh, for those who are just tuning into the broadcast, that is Kenny on the right-hand side of the screen.
This is Kenny.
Yeah, it's going to be the stunt double for Kenny, and unless he pops out in the interview, Kenny's always welcome. We love you, Kenny. We appreciate you. The Penguin's going to be the stunt double for Kenny, which is really fitting.
Well, it's also fitting. He's the one that really came up with the idea of the stuffed penguins. He's the one that first handed me a stuffed penguin at Stella Blues and said, walk around with it. And of course, I'm like, sure, this is amazing. People are giving me weird looks. Some drunk lady asked if I was on the spectrum, which I am, but and I changed it because she didn't ask me that way. She asked me in the bad way.
Yeah. But you had a lot of other commemorative penguins throughout the tenure of Shane Penguin. There's been more penguins represented the band, I believe, right? I know
various penguins that I think one of them was like porcelain at some point. Like
there we go. Yeah.
I respect it. I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, what was the worst fan experience? Well, not worst, craziest fan experience that I had. And I remember it was like, I think in our first year as a band, probably, we played this bar called Murphy's Law. And I don't know if they're still around anymore. But Murphy's Law, for folks that aren't familiar with like their famous fake laws, is the idea that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. We did not quite hit that bar on this evening, but the stage was basically on one half of the dining room, and one of the doors from the bar would go directly onto the stage. And one of the guys who would go through that door was very drunk, and his friend owned a drum kit. And so he decided to ask Kenny, hey man, what is that drum kit? Can I play it? Etc. And that would normally be fine, except he did this while we were playing the show. Like we were mid-song and he like walked on the stage and started talking to Kenny. Now Kenny, our incredibly professional drummer, does not drop the beat. He's there, always there on the one. But after a couple of measures, like thankfully I had a break in my playing for a second. I'm like, dude, it's cool. You have to leave. We will talk to you afterward. And I think like what we did was just to end up ignoring him, but it was absolutely like the worst co-stage performer I can remember having. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Matt, any exciting experiences or no? Not yet.
Well, I haven't been in, haven't had as many shows with these guys as as they've been a band, but a couple of them that come to mind were I think at one of the shows at Scottish Dave's, there's one guy yelling something really funny that I can't remember, like when we were like pretty much breaking down over gear. But there's also, I think this might be the same lady that Dustin was talking about, but she was yelling for us to play Creed or something. We're like, no. It's like, do you know any Creed songs? We're like, no, we're not.
Thought you were a cover band?
Creed. I don't know.
I got a voice that's close to that dude. So sometimes
no, you don't. No, you don't.
I do. I do.
No, you're not like Scott Stapp. No,
I'm not like him. I don't do coke. But what? I don't beat women either.
I don't think your voice is like him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your voice is not like him at all. It's completely two separate voices.
Yeah, it's really hard to mistake.
Let's split the baby. Dustin, if you wanted, you could sound like Scott Stapp.
Right.
But thankfully for all of us, you never wanted that. And to be fair, no one has ever wanted that.
No one has ever wanted that. Scott Stapp didn't want that. He just happened to get it. He's like, I guess I'm stuck here now.
Let me know about the now and the future. You guys got a show coming up and you guys got an album coming up too. Tell me what you can without revealing anything.
So we got a couple of, a few songs in the works. Besides, like, what is it? We've got a few new ones coming up in the album itself they're going to release. But besides that, we've got also a bunch of different ones we're working on that'll probably be singles or next album or something. That those are the works. We got quite a few kind of cooking up. Nice. So pretty excited about that.
John, easy John.
The work on the record, well, our work on the record is finished. our buddy slash mentor Vic Steffens.
Okay.
Where he's finalizing mixing and mastering, and yeah, we'll reveal the title and the album art, I guess, once we have a release date for it. But
Okay.
ready to go. We are already back in the kitchen cooking up some other stuff.
Nice.
You know, I want to say that there's at least 2 additional songs that have already been finished, like since we finalized the record. So that's cool. Um, yeah, and then we're writing, and then we also have a show that's coming up. We'll pass it easy.
Yes, we are playing actually, which was dope. We get to go back to Black Rock, which for all those who don't know, that's Bridgeport, but we're across the street from Park City. We're not playing Park City. We're across the street from Park City, and we're playing at Roadrunner. This is our debut at Roadrunner. It's a free show, so you just have to come out, and then you can spend all your money on merch. There's a touring band coming from New York called Cabin Fever, and we're playing with our really good friends Egg, which is great. I love playing with Egg. They're just so great musically and fun guys to hang out with, and guys that stand by their principles, and guys that also run up a heck of a bar tab. Those guys are guys. Those guys are humans. They're real good humans.
We're talking about Egg? The Egg?
Yeah.
Talking about Egg
humans.
Those guys are very cool. It's really interesting. They bring a lot of the sort of complicated side of early emo and stuff like that. Like their bassist, Tim, that dude is sick. Those guys, they're very chill dudes. They've been touring a lot the past year or so. But yeah, always a joy to play with them. And yeah, I think they've been around, I think since they were teens together,
Nice.
which is awesome because you get to sort of hear their evolution both as individuals and as a group, because they'll still play some of the early stuff. And every time we've seen them, I've heard something that I'd never heard before. So you should see them. You should see us, but you should see them too.
For the people who haven't experienced a Shane Penguin show, what do you bring to the table? What separates you from everyone?
We're like music in 3D. I mean, does that make sense? I guess that's how I kind of look at it. I am not someone who's just gonna, unless they tell me I have to stay in this 4x4 square or my microphone is gonna peak and make the sound be bad. I'm not someone who just wants to be on stage. I want to be out with the people. I want to be in the moment. I want to look people in the eyes. I want to cry with people. I want to embrace the moment. I want to hug people. I want to go up to the bar and get a shot because I can. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot more interactive. It's not like playing the home game. Plus I don't know, I love that type of aspect. And you get to see, I also get to take a step back and watch too, which is some of the coolest things. I love watching these guys play together, and I love the connection between, John and Kenny, where John can put his shoulder back a little bit and Kenny knows to ride back on the beat just a little bit, or he can creep up a little forward and Kenny knows he needs to get a little bit faster, or he can crouch down. He's like, okay, we're going to get soft here. Watching that happen in real time while I'm performing with these guys is dope. Looking over and knowing that, Matt, who started out being very much like Jim Morrison and looking away from the crowd to play because he never really jumped on the stage before, now turning more and engaging more and seeing that there's interplay between John and Matt. And I can now look over and I can have a moment with Matt on stage, which is so dope to have. Is really, really, really cool. Actually, it's one of the reasons why I start running back now to stage, is to try to have that moment. I was like, I can't let them just have all the cool moments. I've got to embrace, these people aren't going to remember me tomorrow. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I think that there's a lot of stuff that is rough about about just going to a local show or whatever, but there are some things you kind of can't get in a lot of other spots, and one of those things is kind of like um downright like guileless authenticity of just like we are who we are and this is what we want to do together, and we are not going to be afraid to share who we are or just be who we are with y'all. And um that's not to say that we're like no one's gonna shut us up, we're angry and we're here. I mean, of course we get mad about stuff, but like that kind of I feel like there's this sense of like the only way to be nowadays is mad about something, and like we can be mad about stuff because we're full of love, right? And caring about each other and about our audience is one of those things that we want that to pop off the stage as much as what's going on harmonically or whatever. Like we will sometimes just hug each other on stage. Not like it's a planned thing, just like,
Right.
great show, man. And like, whatever, hug your guy friends. Don't be weird about it.
Right.
We want to sort of foster like an openness and a kindness and a strength that is in that. And so, like, leaving aside like what happens musically, we want folks to feel at home. We want them to feel safe, and we want them to feel comfortable with us. At the same time, we want to play music that is going to scare the crap out of them occasionally. That's what friendship and that's what trust is musically.
Right. And what's incredible is to have these guys, allow me to do things that maybe we shouldn't be doing, or go down a barrier. They do this incredible song that we call boogie, or actually it's actually called it's more of a boogie than a shuffle. Yeah, and it's all this super bright song, and it's so poppy and it's so delicious. And I say some of the darkest things that are humanly possible in such a nice way. Where I know that if we handed that to like a label or like people who are trying to do this for pure monetary aspects, they're gonna be like, this song is great, but we need to take the words away. And we don't have to do that because we are in charge of our own destiny, and we can say we're going to put the art that we want to put out there. If that doesn't mean 3-4 years down the road that doesn't get a rework and doesn't become something more polished. I mean, our songs have morphed from what we thought was more like a club banger has now become more of an anthem, and what we thought was more of an anthem is now more of a B-side. So it's the evolution as things go, and especially now with Matt and Matt's adding his own perspective to some of the older material, and the new material is completely different perspectives for all of us. It's incredible, and yeah, I'm definitely digging the evolutionary dance.
There's a great future, St. Penguin. Nope. I love it.
There's a real future. It's I don't look at it as like we're gonna, of course, if someone presented us with a Grammy, I'm gonna accept it. But I'm not saying, oh, we're gonna be a Grammy, we're gonna be or as John said before, we don't think we're the Beatles. We're just trying to have a good time doing what we do, trying to make a difference in the music aspect of it ourselves, and really pushing ourselves. So we'll continue to push ourselves, and we'll continue to have a good time with this because it is a good time. Doesn't mean we're not going through bad times.
Of course, everyone is. Yeah.
Everyone's going through the darkness, and if you're going through that darkness, one of the best places to go is a Shane Penguin show. To be honest with you, because you need that hug. We are that band that are going to give you that hug, but in the Keanu Reeves type of way. Kind of like just above the body, like there, we got you, for full respect. And that's just kind of like how things go. That being said, if you needed a tighter hug than that, as long as there was consent, I would totally give you a real hug. But still, that's what's necessary. Look, I come from a lot of darkness at some points in time, and to know that there are other people around that have sit in that darkness and understand that darkness has made me feel better. So hopefully there are some people who are sitting in that little bit of the darkness that come out to a Shane Penguin show and feel a little bit better because they're not alone.
I do feel a little bit better on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with the great Shane Penguin on 103.5 FM New Haven. Preston EZ BlueZ. One question I got for each one of you guys individually. What do you want to bring for the band in 2025 and beyond? Individually, what you feel you guys can bring for the band. You know what, John, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. Individually, what I want to bring to the band is, oh man. All right. So I think one thing that I want to bring to the band is I have a little bit more stake in our practice space, I guess, than the rest of the guys. So I recognize that this is a very inward looking kind of thing, but I want to do everything that I can to kind of foster our practices as genuinely creative space across as many dimensions, basically, as we have the wherewithal to make ourselves do. And if that means it's like, hey guys, we're all four of us are going to be using drum machines today. Great, you know, to that point, incredible. But I don't know. It's just I got hooked. That's all.
Matt.
Let's see. I'd like to actually kind of get into some vocals, like on my part.
Okay,
I haven't
cool.
really added anything, but
awesome.
I'm working on it, and I would like to at least kind of add a little more backup, so we have like everybody be pretty cool. You know, have everybody doing something as far as vocal wise and everything. I think that'd be fun. Then also just adding some more weirdness, like anything we can, just to kind of take a left turn here and there. Just what can make the song just add that little extra spice on there, make it complement everything else, sound really nice. But,
last but not least,
part of me is like, I bring chaos, but that's not really the truth. The truth of the matter is, what I'm going to bring is, the ability to keep my mind open so that I can be okay with taking that next step, that next jump of faith, whether it be playing the vibra slap or the harmonica or the guitar, or I'm sure there'll be a slide whistle solo that'll need to be done soon. I've got you. I'm in. I'm totally in it. Like, I'm looking at this as very much kind of like, this is also my improv acting class. I do a lot of yes and. They'll be like, we're going to do it like this. And I go, yes, and they're like, well, and like this. And I'm like, yes, and they're like, okay, enough. You get off the ceiling, come back down to earth. It's okay. But that's really what it comes down to is that fearlessness. And the only way we can be fearless is by being with people we trust as much as we do. I know that whether I fall on my face or not, they're not going to be out there to watch, sit and watch me fall on my face. And if I fall on my face on a live show, it's because of my own thing. Some of the stuff, where it actually, in full transparency, it actually just happened at the last show that we had. I got some really horrible news before the show, and had to process the loss of someone who means a lot to me, and had to give the set. So I actually had a breakdown while singing the songs, and these guys carried me through without missing a beat. It was dope. But I trusted them to do that, and I knew I could take that moment. And thank goodness the audience was forgiving enough to understand that we are all human, and we're gonna have those human moments. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to try to grow myself in that vulnerability. So hopefully bring that to the band a little bit more, see what comes out.
Time is unfortunately coming to a close, but I'm happy that you guys are growing. I'm happy you guys are succeeding. And for a local perception and a local point of view, You broke a lot of barriers. You gotta be proud of yourselves, guys. Be proud of yourselves. Really, like really, honestly, you guys gotta be proud of yourselves because you guys achieved a lot in so little time as a band to stick together because it's hard. A lot of people think it's easy being in a band, but it's really hard with that commitment, just sticking together. Easy, you shaking your head. It could be easy for you guys. You have that great chemistry. Not too many bands do.
It's also the fact that one, we like actually hanging out with each other, and
That's
two, you know, we try to make sure that all decisions are unified. Like we try not to, you know, like, and right now, you know, Matt's stepping up and you know, giving a little bit with his work schedule so we can play the show. That's why it's so super important for you to come down on the 23rd, you know, because Matt's, you know, risking his sleep. So come on through, and it'll be a good time. But you know, we have a little give and take, so you know, no one is overlooked. Like we, you know, during the month of December, you know, the end of November through December, we try to take as little gigs as humanly possible because Kenny works for UPS, and Kenny, you know, will play a show till 4 o'clock in the morning and go right to work and not sleep for 4 days, and we don't want him to do that. You know, because we care way too much about each other, so we're not going to put ourselves in any of us in that situation. I think that's why it works so well, because there is that openness and there is that trust.
One nice thing about Kenny before we go off.
He's everyone's favorite penguin.
Matt.
Oh, he's the nicest dude ever. He's always just fucking up budget. In a good mood. Friends with the guy. Sorry about that.
What is there to say about Kenny? Great drummer, super reliable individual. He and I have the same birthday.
That's right. Happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, but yeah, Kenny is a kind individual, and as much as I think one of the things I've been sort of talking around this whole hour is just like the feeling that you get when you're engaging with music directly. And I will say it's freaking cool to be in band with a couple people that have synesthesia. Kenny and EZ both do. For folks at home who don't know what this is, synesthesia is it's not a medical condition, but it's a thing that some folks' brains do where you process and understand music through non-auditory ways. So you might have an image in your head or colors and stuff that you see. Kenny has that, and he experiences that very deeply when we play music together, and he shares that with us. And that's freaking cool. It's just like, you know, wonderful to have a bandmate who will walk you through their personal music video.
Guys, we thank you. Well, I thank you. I appreciate y'all. And hope to hear more Shane Penguin. Hope to get you guys back on again this year. Hopefully Kenny's involved too, because Kenny works a lot. He is appreciated. And we always like to close out the show with shameless plugging. So it doesn't matter who does it, even Easy himself. Any shameless plugging for Shane Penguin on Preston EZ BlueZ. Doesn't matter who says it.
Come see us on the 23rd in Bridgeport. You should check out our latest stuff. We're at shanepenguin.bandcamp.com. And engage with the little music today. Sing along with something. Pick up the guitar. Please do that.
Seriously.
And the Instagram and all that?
Shame.penguin on Instagram. Facebook is just Shame Penguin. Feel free to hit us up on either of those messengers. We will respond. We try to check it as much as possible, especially when we're promoting a show like the one on the 23rd. We're playing National Mic Check Day, which is cool. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3.
When is that?
Not on the 23rd.
23rd,
January 23rd.
Check that. Wow.
1, 2, 3.
Now I know. WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, who's been under the rock. EZ BlueZ. Matt, John, Shane Penguin. We love everyone. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Bye. Much love.